Hey, what's up guys? It's Evil Wendigoon here, and today we are going to be talking about an older theory on Petscop that Wendigoon made about 6 months ago. Now, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of Petscop and a huge FNAF theorizer. I watch a lot of FNAF theories, I make my own, I'm very invested. So of course, anything I'm into, I'm likely to theorize about. And one of these things I like to theorize and think about is Petscop. Now, at the end of Wendigoon's video on Petscop, he posits a quite ridiculous theory in my opinion. And although I love Wendigoon's content, I am here today to criticize his theory. I believe his theory is a cop-out, I believe that it is not actually solving anything, and I believe that it is too general. I would even go as far as to call it the new dream theory. Not specifically FNAF dream theory, in the concept of a dream theory, where it can be applied to anything and actually solves nothing. In my opinion, Wendigoon's conclusions were mostly lazy and did not solve anything. So let's just get into it. First off, I want to say you should watch this video by Wendigoon. I think it is a great video. I think he does a great job analyzing and looking at the episodes, but personally, I just do not agree with his opinions. So, first off, a quick explanation of his theory. I'm not going to go too far into it. I'll link the video. You should watch that if you're particularly interested. Now, his overall theory is that Petscop happens in multiple universes, and that some of these events in other universes are affecting each other. Some parallel universe Marvel cinematic shit. Now, the main problem I have is that if something doesn't fit with any of his smaller theories, he just says, oh, well maybe that happens in another universe. So Wendigoon, in this theory, comes across many things where he will either give counter evidence to his own points, or explain something that wouldn't make sense in his previous stated framework. What he does in these situations is just say it's in the other universe. He doesn't really specify what happens in each universe, or really how many universes there even are. And in my opinion, that's just lazy. My main problem with this type of theorizing is that it doesn't actually solve anything. What I personally love about theorizing about all different sorts of media is that it can be disproven, argued, and debated. Many interesting conversations come from this. When you put forward something like dream theory or this alternate universe theory, you can just apply it to anything and it cannot be disproven. If you just see something that doesn't line up with your theory and you say, oh, it happens in another universe, or oh, it's in a dream, so it doesn't have to make sense, those are the same arguments, and in my opinion, they're both equally as dumb. That's why I believe this is the new dream theory, and I hope we do not see people follow in Wendigoon's footsteps. Now again, I feel the need to reiterate, I love Wendigoon's content. This video is just about this specific theory, and to be honest, I take theorizing a little too seriously. This theory could apply to nearly any piece of media. If you believe that Charlie stuffed the animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's, and then someone gives you a counterpoint that disproves that and would say that William Afton is the one who did it, and you say, oh, well that just happened in the alternate universe. That's a poor cop-out. All you're doing is skipping having to answer these questions. And I think a theory like this is ultimately pointless. It is not a theory at all. I believe that this sort of theory is a cop-out. I could go over each specific point that I disagree with, but I don't feel that's necessary. In general, his overall theory is a cop-out. Saying that these things happen in alternate universes is a lazy way to come to a conclusion. It doesn't actually solve anything, and it's too filled with maybes. He says maybe so many times in this theory, which when you're theorizing, you should be making conclusions, not saying, I don't know, maybe this happens in an alternate universe. And again, just to be clear, I love Wendigoon's content, and I am not criticizing him, but I am too invested in theorizing. So, as always guys, thanks for watching. Check out my Etsy, check out my Instagram, whatever you want. Just thanks for being here, listening to my opinions, listening to me ramble. I love you very much, and have a good day. God bless.